I joined the Circle group. While I was going through your message, I went through the 40 days reset program. Between then and now, I've seen a lot has changed. All because, some of your messages, some of your leadership words, encouragement on how we should follow procedures. Some of these things, the way you talk it, you make it seem as if it's not difficult.
I went back to the 40-day reset. So in one of it, that if I start thinking about being a victim or anything, it's not going to help me and it's not going to help my employer as well. So every day when I'm driving to work, I play each of those things and it has really helped me. Wow. Oh, it has helped me. Wow. I found out that the way I see myself has really, really changed.
I immediately joined Circle and started the 40-day reset. It has been absolutely life-changing for me as far as a mindset shift that I didn't know I needed.
It's a very wonderful mental reset. If you're just joining in here and you have not tried that, please just go and check it out. I can promise you will come back and testify.
Hey there, leader. This is a season of uncertainty and massive disruptions. How do leaders respond to disruptions? We unleash our creativity. That's why we are here, to turbocharge your capacity and that of your team for success. One important way you do this is by cross-fertilizing ideas with high-level leaders like yourself. And I just decided to create an opportunity for that. It gives me great pleasure to invite you to join me at the Business and Leadership Accelerator Roundtable in Atlanta on October 11 and 12. We arrive on October 11, Friday. We have dinner together. We get to know one another. We network. On Saturday, we have the workshop and we close with lunch. This is going to be life-changing. Again, you're a leader in business, you're a founder, you're a CEO or high-level leader. This is for you. The spaces are very limited. It's going to be intimate, so register. See you in Atlanta. Hey there, leader. This is a season of uncertainty and massive disruptions. How do leaders respond to disruptions?
Hello. And welcome to this live event today. Awesome. Wow. How's been your day? Okay. Olatunde is asking, how can I join this 40 days reset? Okay. We'll let you know before we're done. Okay. Thank you, George. Thank you for coming back. All right. So this isn't going to be long. I want you to enjoy the start to your weekend. Okay. We've been discussing on team dynamics, right? Okay, good. So just in case it's your first time ever of meeting me, my name is Sam Adeyemi, and I am an author, a keynote speaker at conferences globally, and a husband, a father, an author, and I enjoy coaching C-suite executives, advising, giving perspective, and helping successful people to remain successful. And in fact, to take their success to another level. Good. So it's a pleasure to have, FX Bulls Forex Trading from Namibia. Thank you. All right. Olatunde is from Nigeria, Osun State. That's amazing. Okay. So, thank you, Roland from Malawi. Amazing. Thank you for joining us. At Sam Adeyemi GLC, and our GLC stands for Global Leadership Consulting. We raise high impact leaders that shape the destinies of corporations and nations. Okay. Everything we do is about that, because ultimately we want to see our world get better. Thank you, Ambassador Jackson from Liberia. Thank you for joining us, and Samuel from Abuja. Okay. Can I have a one-on-one? Yes, we have provision for that. If you send our team an email, info@samadeyemiglc.com, info@samadeyemiglc. Yeah, that's it. Balaha from Chicago, thank you for joining us. Okay, so I work a lot with CEOs, founders of corporations. It's about the best investment I can make of my time right now because of the many hats that I wear. And I've come to the conclusion that it is usually difficult for me to help a leader transform their organizations, transform their results without us discussing their teams. Leaders don't act alone. The very definition, the essence of leadership suggests that you're not dealing with only one person. You're just dealing with one person who is responsible for many people and whose results or impact, whose impact is outsized. That's why it's just so important to invest in leaders. And that's why we leaders invest in ourselves. And that's why we leaders never stop learning. Never. Thank you, Damola. So we've been discussing about the dynamics, right, within leadership teams. Why it is important for you as a C-level leader to pay attention to the dynamics within your team. First, the dynamics between you and your team, and also very importantly, the dynamics between your team members. When trust is high, results can be good, right? The results can be high. When trust is low, the likelihood is that the results will be low, morale will be low, turnover can even be high because some people will want to exit. Okay. Some people will want to exit the team. And as we share this evening, I'm conscious of the fact that over the next 12 months, if some leaders don't take active steps to improve the dynamics, the relationships within their teams, some teams may literally disintegrate. Some other organizations will be failing and struggling. So this is really, really important, okay? Like I said, we're not going to be long today, but there's one word I wanted to touch on. You may not even have heard of this word in the business space, right? You may not have heard this word in the business space, but it's an important word: forgiveness. Forgiveness. Some of the most effective leaders in our world have had to take that word seriously. You know, even when nations go to war, right, at the end of the day, they have to end up discussing. They have to end up on the peace table, right? And it is the leaders that have the capacity of heart to accommodate that word. Forgiveness, the writing of emotional debts. That's what it means to forgive, right? When you say you forgive a debt, you write it off. In this instance, we're talking about emotional debt. That's the only way we can move forward. Rwanda is a powerful example, right? Some hundreds of thousands of lives lost over the crashing of trust between tribes. And then at the end of the day, all you have is disaster and the nation is collapsing. And then leadership comes and says, we have to forgive one another. It's amazing. It's the only way forward. It's the only way forward. Nelson Mandela sealed his leadership by appealing to both the oppressor and the oppressed. And there was no future in bitterness. There had to be forgiveness. And I'm saying that I mean, if you're married and you've built a family, or even if you're not married, you were born into a family, right? Just think about the fact that if we don't bring forgiveness into the dynamics of human relationships, everything will collapse. Relationships will break down, and our capacity to succeed will be diminished. So I'm asking us to bring this into the business space. Some boards are going to malfunction terribly if we don't bring in forgiveness, right? Some boards of directors, right? If we don't bring in forgiveness, smoothen the relationships and build back trust in the near future. Okay? One thing that makes forgiveness possible. Okay. Let me go back to the definition of forgiveness. So I remember what Stephen R. Covey, one illustration that Stephen R. Covey gave in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said, we humans have emotional bank accounts with one another. I love it. I've never forgotten it because it's such a beautiful illustration. We have emotional bank accounts. So when I do something favorable, when I show kindness to you, I'm making a deposit in the emotional bank account. When I offend you or I make a demand on you, I am making a withdrawal on the emotional bank account. So Stephen R. Covey said, if we have not been making deposits in the emotional bank account, and then we make a big withdrawal, the account runs into the red. And that is what destroys relationships. Wow. Wow. If we have been making a lot of deposits and then we make a withdrawal, but then there's still a lot, right? A lot of deposits in the emotional bank account. So the relationship doesn't have to end just because I offended you once. See what I mean? So I know that people think mentioning the word love in the business space is too soft, but I promise you it's not. Because this stuff that we're discussing, it takes people with character. It takes maturity, emotional and psychological and spiritual maturity to deal with this stuff. So we make emotional bank accounts, emotional deposits, right? With one another. And honestly, high-level C-suite leaders need to take this seriously, right? We need to show kindness to one another. We actually need to be investing heavily because we deal with heavy stuff at the leadership level. Let's assume, okay, you are the head of a department. Now, this is something that needs to go on, right? In your department. That needs to go on between you and members of your department. That's why the recognition matters. That's why remembering somebody's birthday matters. That's why giving gifts matters. That's why showing kindness matters. And that's why forgiveness matters, because forgiveness actually has value from what I've been discussing. Okay? Good. Now, there are serious implications for teams where people harbor bitterness and where people actually take a step further to exact revenge. There are serious implications for that. And honestly, I'm conscious of the fact that what's going on, the dynamics in some teams is actually dangerous, right? So, my encouragement today, we've got to learn forgiveness. And if forgiveness is going to be possible, then we've got to learn to apologize. I said this is stuff for mature people, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually mature people, we've got to learn to apologize. And this is going to be tough if we have not learned to manage our egos. My observation is that the structures built around success inflate our ego. The higher you go, the more successful you become, the bigger everything gets, right? Then you get the bigger title, and then the bigger office, and then the bigger salary and allowances and perks. And then you get the bigger car. You're encouraged to get the bigger car, and then you're told, oh, the neighborhood where you're living does not befit you anymore, so you get the bigger. Then you get the bigger house, bigger everything, and if you're not careful, you get the bigger head. Now that's where the problem starts, right? Because we're busy comparing ourselves with other people, and something is beginning to tell us that there's something that is special about us that is not special about other people. And the arrogance and pride begins to show, right? So when you bring in the word apologize, then it becomes impossible for us. But I'm telling you, mature leaders can apologize. Apologizing makes it possible for other people to forgive us when we have offended. There is absolutely no point pretending as if you're a perfect person, because the fact that you're a leader does not make you perfect. But actually, no one is. You pretend to be, you're a hypocrite. Hypocrisy erodes the credibility of a leader very fast. Remember also that we're modeling values. We're modeling values. If the leader is able to apologize, then other people on the team find it possible also to apologize. Good. So what happens when, okay, so if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us wherever you may be in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a brief one today, and we just continued our discussions on managing team dynamics. And I'll be done in a few minutes, and I'll take one or two questions and we'll be done, because we want you to enjoy your weekend. All right. So some of you are aware, right, that thank you, Toba, for joining us from the UK. So one of my roles is that of a pastor. Yeah, this is not pastor platform. This is strategic leadership platform. But in the other part of my work, yes, I want to draw on a lesson from the Bible. This is something I've seen happen in teams, right? In the teams that I have led. So permit me to read from the Bible, Galatians chapter 6 and verse 1. From the Message Bible, it says, live creatively, friends. If someone falls into sin, forgivingly restore him. Forgivingly restore him, saving your critical comments for yourself. You might be needing forgiveness before the day is out. Remarkable. Okay, let me read the same verse from the New King James Version of the Bible, Galatians 6 and verse 1. It says, brethren, if a man is overtaken in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted. This is remarkable. If someone makes a mistake, don't jump on their mistake. Don't seize it as an opportunity. And where the political dynamics, is negatively charged, this is what happens. A colleague makes a mistake, powerful opportunity, you jump on it, slam the person. If I get them out, it says here, oh, thank you, Okoyemi from Canada. Richmond, I can see you from California. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Sunday. And my good friend Ann Bruce from California, thank you for joining us. Okay, it's a brief one. So we're talking about managing team dynamics. Today we're talking about love, and we're talking about the big word, forgiveness, writing off an emotional debt, and the need for that in high-level teams, right? And boards, or else the likelihood of failure is high. And we've said that forgiveness can be a bit more convenient if we temper our egos and we can apologize, right? And finally, I'm just saying, don't jump on someone else's mistake. You move towards restoration. Thank you, Yinka from Oxbridge in the UK, and Michael from Kapula. Michael Kapula from Zambia. Sorry for that. Thank you, Tunde from Toronto. Modupe from Canada. Amazing. Good. So this is it. If someone makes a mistake, be the one to move close to them and restore, right? Help them to get back on their feet. You know what I found happen? People who jumped on other people's mistakes, rammed them down, criticized them, it did not take long. They made the same mistakes. I don't know how it works, but it's a powerful principle. I don't know how it works, but it's a powerful principle. You just find yourself making the same mistake helplessly. It's remarkable. So thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, we're going to leave these on my pages, and you can watch this again and again. Please do share also. Share with someone so they can find time to meditate, reflect on this thing over the weekend, so that many of us can start afresh on Monday. Wow. Okay, I want to do something special next Thursday. One of the most powerful courses that we have created is on how to become a strategic leader. It's not enough for you to be a leader. You've got to be a strategic one. Research says 87% of leaders are operational. They can help a team succeed, or help their team succeed under normal conditions. But when you have a dynamic situation, rapidly changing environment, a bit of uncertainty and unpredictability, only 13%, they said. Only 13% are strategic like that. Strategic leaders help their teams to succeed both in the present and in the future. Now, with the kind of disruptions that we're having now, of course, it's predictable. A lot of people are going to be out of their jobs. We're not gloating over that. It's sad. It's just the reality we're facing right now. People are going to be out of their jobs in the next 6 months, 12 months. A lot of changes going on around our world. So the big point is, so are you prepared? Do you have that capacity not only to leverage disruptions to rise, but to lead your team also to be able to do that? Because you'll find out some organizations, some people actually thrive, whatever the situation is. It's just that disruptions bring new problems, and you've got to have a certain kind of mindset. Okay, so this is my offer. Those who get the course, those who get the course over the next 72 hours, I'm going to have a live coaching session, 2-hour coaching session with them next Thursday. Yeah, ordinarily you just get the course. It's video, powerful video program that we recorded already, but I want a scenario where people can watch the videos. It comes with workbook and all that, but then have a live session with me. Okay, why? I just want to see you 10x. I've seen people's careers transformed in massive ways over the last few decades, and right now that's what I'm here for, right? That's what we're about. So in the next 72 hours, if you get the course next Thursday, I'll be with only a small number of people, and we'll walk through the practical application, right? The practical application of how to be a strategic leader. strategic thinking, strategic planning, strategic action, strategic influence, and all that. Fantastic. Okay, so our team is going to put up the links. Yeah, yes. Yes, the 40-day reset plan is also there. That's been revolutionary. We've been getting a lot of stories around that in recent times. So we'll put up the link for that, and then we'll put up the link for the strategy course also. And of course, we'll be sending out the information also via email if you are on our mailing list. Fantastic. So thank you. Can I take a question before I run? Yeah. Okay, George is asking, how can we deal with people who always like to leverage on one's mistake to talk one down? Okay, so the QR code for how to become a strategic leader is on the screen right now, so you can point your camera at it. Fantastic, right? Yes, like this. There you go. I got it. Okay, so so you're in a scenario where you have someone who is behaving like a narcissist, right? Someone who seizes the opportunity, right? Just because you made a mistake, person seizes the opportunity to knock you down, run down your self-esteem, talk down on you. Now, I would say first, it depends on the person's position relative to yours, right? Because narcissists come at all levels, okay? Person may be a boss, maybe a colleague at the same level. It could even be a subordinate. If it's a subordinate, okay. So whichever way you go about it, this is important. That the fact that you are humble and forgiving should not be an excuse for anyone to destroy your self-esteem through their toxic behavior. This is important. You've got to have a one-on-one with such a person and help them to gain awareness on what they're doing. You start, of course, by giving people the benefit of the doubt, right? You just don't know where they're coming from. Some people, that's how they were treated. Hurting people hurts people, okay? I'll tell you, my first interpretation would be, this person needs help. One of the major characteristics of people with low self-esteem is that they criticize others excessively. They criticize others excessively. But then I found out also that when someone is there cutting people down excessively like that, that's the way they cut themselves down. Okay, that's how their internal conversation also goes. So it will be someone with low self-esteem that wants to cut down somebody else's self-esteem, if you get what I mean. So my first attitude is, this person needs help. So out of a positive consideration, I approach someone, okay? We need to talk. And I help the person to know, when you do this, this is the impact it has on me. Okay? When you do this, this is the impact. It will help them to become conscious whenever they are doing that thing. Because from that point onwards, you will want to know whether it is deliberate or not. If the person derives joy from hurting you, they won't stop. Okay? And that's the point at which you will need to get someone else involved, right? Especially if you can get someone who is also high up, right? If you both have a boss, you want to get the boss involved at an informal level. It's not that you want anybody to lose their job. You don't want anyone with a bad record, but you believe that this needs to be addressed. This issue needs to be addressed. Okay. And then if it doesn't stop, then you document it. Okay. If it doesn't stop, you document it. You don't hold fire to your body, right? And say you have a lot of endurance. So you don't tolerate toxic behavior, right? Especially if someone is being deliberate about it. So we need to have conversations around these issues, but please do it with a lot of kindness and with a lot of humility, but please be firm. That would be my advice. I know sometimes people wonder about forgiveness. Does the fact that I have forgiven someone mean that I should restore the relationship to what it was before? I don't know about that. If I sit on a chair and it crashes and I fall down and someone puts the seat back together, I think the natural thing I'll do first is, before I put my whole weight on the seat, that I'll use my hand to press the seat, right? So I want to test it. So yeah, it's absolutely okay for you to get back into the relationship gradually. Absolutely okay, right? Nobody should force trust on anybody. So yes, if someone has failed before and their trust, if trust has been broken, you can rebuild it gradually. In some cases, you need to keep someone at arm's length if someone insists on remaining toxic. Right. Coinsola is asking, could the book Dear Leader be made available on Apple Bookstore? Currently, it's only the audio version that is available. Okay, we'll check that out. We'll work on that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, team. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing us again next week, and I am certainly looking forward to being with just a few people next Thursday. It will be 4 p.m. EST. That will be 9 p.m. in the UK and in Nigeria, and 12 midnight in the UAE. Okay. 2 hours, and we are going to have an amazing time. Remember, the vision is 10x for you, right? 10x. You can experience big jumps in your impact, in your results. I've experienced that several times in my career, and I'm going to share some of my stories. But more than that, we're just going to share the strategies, right? And you leave with practical action steps to shift things forward. Amazing. So thank you so much. Remember, help to share the link so other people can experience this. I hope this has been helpful. Has this been helpful today? If you type a Y, the letter Y in the chat room, if you type the letter Y, if I can just get, say, like 3 Ys, then I'll know that this was really helpful. Thank you, Karen. Thank you today. Very helpful. Thank you, Lifestyle. I got 3 already. Thank you, guys. All right. Thank you so much. I wish you a very restful weekend. Please remember, take time to rest, tune off, separate yourself from work, because it's actually in that space where you are not focused on the operations. That's where you catch non-linear ideas that create those big jumps that we're talking about. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing weekend, and bye for now.